This saying that you should date your friend or be with someone, you have to date your friend or your best friend and all that.
Hmm.
What is your stand on dating or being with your best friend?
Mm. I don't think that's always necessarily true. I think that is the cliche of what people see. Or how about this, when you hang out with a bunch of guys, or if a girls hang out with guys, or vice versa, the guys hang out with girls, and you say, "Oh, that's she's like my sister," or "He's like my brother." Eventually, as you get closer, you're going to become more attracted. That's another thing. The closer you get to somebody, the more attracted you're going to be to them. And that's when that whole personality piece comes in. So they may not be the best looking to you at first, but the more time you spend with them and the more you let them get to know you and vice versa, they're going to be attractive to you. So you can date your quote unquote like best friend or brother or sister or whatever, but I don't think that's always the best solution. And that's only because um, you may know so much about them that by then there's no mystery, there's no nothing to figure out later, there's nothing to keep your interest. And then the good side to it is that you do know everything about them. You know everything you like, what you don't like. They know what your favorite color is, what favorite food you like, what your favorite drink is, all that. So you get the pros and the cons with that. But I don't think you should live and die by that, because it's different for everybody. It truly is. Relationships are so broad. There's no way to label them, right?
Yeah. I think with that, for me, when I hear that, it's dicey in the sense this is you dating somebody. Say you do date your friend or your best friend, it's still a 50-50. It might work and it might not work. So if it doesn't work, there is no way, no matter what you tell yourself, it is not going to go back to the way it was before. You guys won't just
That's
start
right.
chilling again overnight, just Netflixing. No, you have ruined a perfectly good friendship. You have lost
Yes,
a friend. So if that is a risk you're willing to take, yes, by all means, fire down. But I do
hmm
not, for me personally, I do not think I am willing to lose a friend, except I am sure and there's a ring on it. Then I'm like, yes, we're
right.
going to do this to the end. But if it's just dating, I know it might or might not work, then no, I don't think I'm willing to risk my friendship for feelings that may or may not work. So yes, that is
Yes,
it. Yeah.
I
So
agree with you.
yeah. So there is this, I came across a post yesterday which said, was it yesterday? Oh yes, I was going through my saved videos and pictures on Instagram while I was compiling questions for this episode. And among the things I saved was a lady saying you have to have self-love or be happy with yourself, find happiness with yourself so that your partner is just adding to it. You do not find happiness in other people. They're just there to add to that. Love yourself, and every other thing is an additional bonus and all that. And all that. So for relationships or for dating in general, what is your stance on that? Should we be comfortable alone and whoever walks in is just an additional bonus, or how does it go exactly?
That's a really good question, and one that I actually have not had asked of me yet. So I'd say this, you definitely have to be confident in yourself. I would say you have to love yourself, but love doesn't stay at a deep level all the time because sometimes you don't like yourself, right? Sometimes we can't stand ourselves and sometimes we don't want to deal with ourselves. But you do have to find a way to be confident with yourself, I think, before you get into a serious, committed relationship. Because if you don't know who you are, you're not going to be a great partner or friend or lover or girlfriend, boyfriend to anybody else. And I think that, yeah, when you date, somebody could come in and be a bonus, but they can also come in and be a hindrance to you, right? You could get into a relationship, which is the great thing about dating first before just straight up committing. But they can also be someone who comes in and brings out the worst of you. So, yes, you can have someone who brings out the best, who can be that bonus, that like cherry on top of the sundae. But you can also have someone who brings out that side of you that's not so good. So I would say, yes, be confident in yourself. Yes, you got to love who you are, because I talk a lot about that as well. But you shouldn't have to live your life dependent on somebody else. So in other words, the person you date or commit to, they should be your partner. They should be your friend and lover, your boyfriend and your girlfriend. I mean, everything. They should be someone who comes in to enhance and bring out the best of you, and also can deal with the worst of you. So, because you're going to get the best and the worst, right?
Yeah.
Whoever you're with. So you got to be able to deal with both. So that's a good question. But yeah, I think you should love yourself, should be confident in yourself, but be prepared that no matter who comes along in your life, they're going to bring out the best and the worst of you as well. So you've got to be prepared for that. So know yourself well. I would say that's a better term. Know who you are before you really commit to somebody else. If you're not knowing who you are, what you like, what you dislike, how you like to be, what kind of house you like to live in or apartment, then you're going to end up confusing somebody else. So it's important to know who you are and be confident in that first.
Is it okay to have expectations in a relationship? Because I think that comes with knowing who you are and what you want. So if I'm going into a relationship with the mindset of this is how I want my partner, or this is how I want to be treated, or those expectations, is it allowed? Because I think most times we set. The other question is, how do we, if it's okay to set expectations, when do we know when to lower our expectations? Because it's most times it's like we have a high expectation. We're waiting for this person to meet all the expectations were like too high, and you're like, no, you have to reduce your standards, and you have to. So what do we do? What's the manual?
Yes, have expectations. You're going to anyhow. I mean, I don't think I know anybody who doesn't have expectations on something or someone in their life. So definitely have expectations, but also it should be like a sliding scale expectation. So yes, we set that bar high, and you should set the bar high, and people should meet some of those expectations, but you got to remember somebody has expectations on you as well. So think of it more as a sliding scale. So can it slide? Can I compromise here a little bit? Does he have to wear like Jordans all the time? Or does he have to be in a suit with a tie? Does it have to be a slim fit? Or does she have to, always have her makeup on? Or does she always have to be on point with her hair, or long hair versus short hair? You know what I'm saying? So you got to be ready with a sliding scale, but don't lower your expectations so low that you just take anyone who comes in front of you, because that's not a good thing either. That really means that you probably have issues with yourself, and you have issues with self-esteem. So keep the bar high, be ready to slide it up and down, and understand that you're not the only one with the expectations, and you should have high expectations. So basically, I think of it this way. I should have the same expectations of somebody else that I have of myself. So in other words, I don't want to look for something in anybody else if I'm not doing that, or I can't do that. So I don't want to expect something from anyone else that I don't expect of myself. So realize, like, will you expect this of yourself? Would you want to be that type of person to date? So think about what you want in yourself. Then you know what to expect in others too.
True. Makes a lot of sense. You said we have to accept the good, or we have to go through the good, bad, and ugly with somebody. Now, if we do, or when we do go through the good, bad, and ugly with this person, and it doesn't work out, do we keep trying? Do we keep doing the good, bad, and ugly with just looking for, who sticks at the end, or we should just chill? After all, I've tried. Like, it's on record. Tried. So what is there limits of how much you try? If I do choose this person, and at the end of the day, this person, it just doesn't work out, do I keep trying? And how long do I have to repeat this process?
Good. Oh, great. Yes, there are limits. I've had my fair share of good, bad, and ugly relationships myself. And so I've tried and tried and tried, and they've just failed. You have to know what your limit is, figure out what that is for you, of how long you're going to try. I just did a post about this too, where I said sometimes you just got to let them go. You got to let that person or that thing go. You got to realize when you can't take it anymore, and when you don't want to take it anymore. Some people's patience levels are different. Like me, I have low patience tolerance. I'm not going to stay for long, and once I let you go, you're done. There's no reason to come back. I mean, obviously, in my mind, if you break up with somebody, you break up with them for a reason, and that doesn't seem like it's going to change, right? There's something about that person you can't stand. So why put up with it? But then the flip side to that is there are people who are like, I could probably take it a little longer, or I can do a little bit more. I can handle this. But I'd say where you really got to draw the line is mistreatment, period. Never stay in that. Never let anybody mistreat you, abuse you, treat you like you're lower than the dirt on the earth. Never, ever, ever stay in those relationships. Those ones are toxic and horrible, quite honestly. But when you're in a healthy relationship, those limits will change. And it also depends too, like if you're married versus single. Like, so dating, you have different tolerance levels. You're going to put up with a little bit more. Full on commitment, like, yeah, that's my man, that's my woman, that's my girlfriend or boyfriend, that's my partner. You're going to probably not take as much. And then being married, you're going to put up with a lot more, because marriage is a lot of work. You want it to last. So once you're in it, or living together, today a lot of people just live together, and that's their version of being married or committed. Even then, you're going to put up with a lot more. So it really depends upon where you're at in the relationship. But yes, you're going to have limits. Know your own limits, and don't compromise those limits for you. I think that's what's important. Whoever's out there compromising, don't compromise. If you know you got to get out, or you want to let this person go, do it. There are plenty of other people, even though it seems like there's not, but there's lots of other people in this earth for you. So yes.
It's hard. How do you let go of someone you built your life around?
Yes, it is hard. It's so difficult. I'm more of an upfront, straight up person. And once I make a decision, I have to do it and stick to it. But there are a lot of people who are not. So I would say when you really know you have to let go, one, there's never going to be a right time to do it. Know that and realize that. So you've got to be prepared to find that courage or find that strength to just say, I got to go, or you got to go. So never look for the perfect time. You're never going to have that. Two, I would say, make sure it's not like, some kind of a text message, or, even a FaceTime. As much as possible, try and do it in person. Unless it's like toxic, or unless it's like dangerous, try to do it in person. And then three, be ready to stick by your decision. Don't let somebody say, well, we can work it out. Obviously, if you've made that decision, you don't want to work it out, right? So be ready to just be ready to turn around, walk away, just like in the movies. Okay. This is like what you see in movies is so real. People don't be fooled by you think it's fake in Hollywood. No, that is reality. And all of us have been through a lot of these different relationships. You see the woman or the man who stands there and they listen to the reasons and decide, I'm going to try